Here at GMBN, we get a lot of press releases telling us about the latest and greatest mountain bike products. Brands come up with some creative ideas for new bikes and new bike parts, and their marketing teams come up with some even more creative ways of trying to tell us and sell them to us. While some are genuinely game-changing or groundbreaking new products, some are less so. With that in mind, we thought we'd come up with a list of some of the weirdest products that have ever been introduced to the mountain bike world, and some of the claims that go along with them. Some of them are truly wild. First on our list is the Outlier pedal. It's the void and pendulum pedal. These caused quite a stir when they were introduced just recently, as well, they're fairly unusual looking to say the least. Both versions feature no conventional axle and not much of a conventional pedal body either. Outlier say this is to make them as thin as possible and also to give more concavity, so more cavey shape than a regular pedal, and they achieve this by letting your shoe form into the opening in the centre. This also allegedly gives you a significantly more grip than a regular pedal, and apparently more comfort too. Those are very big claims indeed. Pendulum takes it one step further by being offset below the centre of the axle. In theory, this means that you can get an even thinner feeling pedal and you'll lower your centre of gravity even more. And this also has the effect that the pedal can be self-righting if you take your foot off. It's certainly an interesting design, but we'll have to wait and see, well, how they fare under regular use in the real world. And it looks like there's certainly some interest in them, as their pre-order has already sold out straight away, even at a 299 Canadian US dollars for one pair. Spendy. Last year, tune mass dampers, or TMDs, hit the downhill scene in a big way. This caused a wave of talking about vibrations and how to control those vibrations. We even tried them ourselves. Now, before this latest generation of tune mass dampers though, there was another type of product that was released that aimed to control vibrations going through our bikes, and anti-vibration stickers. Yeah, I did say stickers. These stickers are claimed to have vibration damping properties that, well, should improve stability. They should give you a more precise steering, and even somehow, even though they are just stickers, less rolling resistance. Yeah, those are some big claims for what, in all intents and purposes, are just a bit of sticky-backed foil. Apparently they're not just foil, they're said to contain passive capacitors, which cause an electromagnetic interaction with whatever they're stuck to. Yeah, right. Okay, some riders we see TMDs or tune mass dampers today did use those anti-vibration stickers back in their wild heydays in the mid-2010s. Back then, what we now know as Sal Mokov team was sponsored by Axiom, one of the makers of these special chips, aka stickers, that claim to reduce magnetic field and turbulence emitted from any moving body. Bold claims. They recommend sticking these chips to your frame, your shock, your fork, bars, stem, hub, wheels, well, anywhere on your bike. They claim this will give you a more responsive suspension and more tyre grip and faster running hubs and a stiffer frame and more. If you want to go all out, you need their racing kit, which comes with 17 chips to stick to your bike and will set you back north of 500 quid. Yeah, that's a lot. And if that's a bit too much, you're in luck. Wizard Stickers offers a 12-pack of their anti-vibration stickers for around £270. I mean, that's a relative bargain, isn't it? There's still some riders using these though, including the Thomas Maxson XC team, who have Wizard Sticker as a sponsor. Look closely and you'll be able to see these stickers, or these magic chips, dotted around their team bikes. While there doesn't seem to be much science or any real data behind them, both brands quote riders saying that their bikes feel better after fitting these stickers, chips. But with racers looking for every little edge, maybe that extra bit of confidence is worth it, even for the placebo effect. While Dakota Norton's high bars got a lot of people talking in 2024, it's nothing compared to the Be More Bikes Rise Reverse Stem. Bronson Moore, the creator of the rise reverse stem, has aimed to closely mimic the stance that you'd find on, well, a motocross bike or a BMX. This means a much more upright stance, more weight through your feet, and positioning your hands behind the steering axis, which is interesting. The idea here is that your hands are freed up to control steering more effectively and let your legs, well, do most of the loading of the bike. It seems to fly in the face of the sort of like traditional idea of mountain bike and body position on a mountain bike, where there's an idea that if you're in an attack position that sees riders getting their weight over the front of the bike, lowering and getting them further over the front end to give you more front tyre grip. Reviews of the product have been mixed, with some believing that there could be something in this kind of stem setup, but for others, well, they just remain unconvinced. It seems high front ends are becoming more of a kind of common trend in mountain bike world, so yeah, could we see more riders opting for a solution like this in the future? Well, time will tell, or the $500 price tag. Will that put people off? Would you try something like this? Let us know in the comments below. We're in there, we get involved, so you should get involved too. Z-Torque cranks. I mean, I'm British, so I should say Z-Torque, but that sounds less exciting. We'll go with Z-Torque. Okay, these cranks are a blast from the past, but a good reminder of how, well, out-of-the-box thinking used to really be. Behold the Z-Torque cranks! As with all of the products featured so far, they come with some very big claims. In this case, those are smoother pedalling, more power on hill climbs, less perceived effort to pedal, faster acceleration, and make you less affected by headwinds. Okay, while this all sounds good, simply looking at their own Kickstarter's sort of comparison images shows that, well, fundamentally, there's not that much difference between Z cranks and regular cranks. The relationship between the bottom bracket, the pedals, and the chainring, well, there's very little difference between a normal crank. The only real difference is that it's got less ground clearance due to the shape of the arm. And no doubt it's much heavier due to all of that extra material. So yeah, it isn't possible for their cranks to produce the results that they claim they do. And even their own studies appear to conclude that, well, save for some riders, saving their sort of perceived effort was a little bit lower, yeah, doesn't really feel that convincing. Overall, those studies weren't enough to convince other people either, and it wasn't enough to convince them to back the Kickstarter to get the Z-Torque cranks into production, because they only raised £2,000 of their £40,000 goal. So alas, there will just be a vision of what could have been. Sad times. The Essax Shark Saddle. I know, I bet you didn't think that we'd talk about saddles and sharks all in the same conversation, but we can. One look at this saddle will tell you everything you really need to know. So here it is. Yeah, that fin does go exactly where you think it goes, and it does exactly what you think it might do. Put simply, the fin means that you have to sit perfectly aligned with the saddle, which is interesting because due to our unique individual biomechanics and have most of us are slightly misaligned and might have twisted hips or twisted pelvises, it means that we're not as straight as we think we are. Even when we think we're sat evenly on a saddle, often we won't be. The Shark saddle is designed to solve this problem by using its unique fin, and it's designed to force you to sit straight. It's claimed that when you're sitting correctly in the saddle, you won't even feel the fin. The fin itself does come in a variety of different heights to suit different riders with different riding styles. I mean, if you look at lots of other saddles which opt for a flatter profile, often with cutouts rather than increases in volumes, it does sit at odds, pun intended, with what most riders are looking for and use in a saddle. Now, especially for off-road riding, that extra height could cause some, let's say, clearance issues. However, if you're focused on long distance, pedal heavy, horizon hunting rides, well, maybe it's something to consider. One thing to note though, the Shark saddle isn't allowed in UCI competitions. Well, it's unfortunate, isn't it? So if you're planning on slotting the Shark saddle into your life, well, just to see what they're all cracked up to be, you'd have to keep it off the racecourse, I'm afraid. But I think that's probably for the best. Retyre one tyre system. This is special. It's a classic, really. We all know that tyres are one of the most important parts of your bike. As the saying goes, they're your only contact point with, well, the ground. Well, I mean, at least they should be. Having the right tyres is crucial. We've done a lot of videos on why it's so crucial. And in turn, riders will stress about getting the right tread pan, the right compound and the right casing. I mean, what if you could just take away that stress by making fitting a new tyre as easy as zipping up a jacket? Well, that's exactly what Retyre were aiming to do with their one tyre modular tyre system. The one tyre system uses a tyre, well, with an integrated zip on the side that lets you zip on a new tyre to the outside to suit different terrain. The range of tyre options to choose from, you can go from kind of road to gravel to off-road quickly and easily. Although we do have some concerns about the durability. It's a zip, for Pete's sake. It may seem that we've been on the money with those concerns because the tyres have been discontinued. So the modular tyres have been chucked out in favour of other sustainable tyre construction methods. If you're interested though, a few dealers still have those zip-on tyres available. It'd be great if you could let us know what they're like and how you get on with the zip-on tyres. This one takes a bit of thinking about, so bear with us because you have to do a bit of science. You might have heard of volume spacers for your fork. These are little plastic pucks or spacers that go inside the air chamber of your fork. They help decrease the volume. This gives your fork a more progressive feel. So if you're bottoming out a lot, rather than just adding more air, you can add some of these volume spacers inside, and that helps support the fork at the end of its travel. It helps it ramp up the progression. The Trutone Flow might look really similar to one of those volume spacers, but actually it does the opposite, claiming to increase the air volume in your fork's air spring, giving you a more linear or more coil-like feeling. So how does putting something into your fork leg actually allow you to have a feeling of more air volume? Well, the secret is the material that it's made from. It's made from activated carbon. Activated carbon acts like an incredibly fine foam or a sponge, and though through the process of adsorption, so not absorption, adsorption, air molecules are able to stick to its surface. That foam or sponge-like structure means that it has incredibly high surface area, and that means a lot of air molecules can stick to it. This means when you've got more air molecules that can be in the same space compared to, well, an empty space. I know, bear with us. So under pressure, more molecules, more air can be squashed in there. I know, this is counterintuitive, but the idea is that this can increase the volume effect on your suspension. Again, there is a lot to wrap your head around with this, but it does sound like marketing mumbo jumbo and as if it's just sort of, well, made up. But there is science to back this up, and in real world testing, reviewers have found it does what it set out to do. With most riders generally opting to add volume spacers to get the opposite effect, so they want that progression, it does seem like it might not have the mass market appeal. But for those who want a linear or coil-like feel, this might be just the thing they're looking for. So yeah, have you tried it? Let us know in the comments below. Rungu Dualie. While the rest of the products we've spoken about today are making little tweaks to parts of the bike here and there, Rungu are suggesting a radical change in the bike itself, giving it two front wheels. Yeah, the Dualie from Rungu gets its name from the dual front wheels on their e-bike. More accurately, their e-trike. They say that this switch to dual front wheels and a slacker head angle eliminates front wheel washouts when steering and stops over the bars crashes when you're braking or descending. Couple that with the super fat tyres, claims of increased stability and multiple mounting points for racks. They say that this is the ideal replacement for a quad or ATV for any outdoor enthusiast. It's certainly an interesting concept, and it might be useful in some applications, say as a utility vehicle. And their top-of-the-range Rubicon Trail Edition has plenty of bolt-on options, even allowing you to fit a trailer to tow an extra 300-pound load. That said, the demo videos make it look like it might be a bit of a handful when you kind of start to venture out into more, well, actual mountain bike terrain. Not according to Rungu though. They claim that you can claim grades twice as steep as you can on a conventional e-bike. A bold claim. And their linked steering system means that you can grip like a four-wheel drive Jeep. I mean, maybe there needs to be a trademark in there. And outperform any conventional e-bike off-road. Again, these are really bold claims, but from the size of the guns a lot of their riders seem to carry, we'll politely agree and just move on. Anyway, Rungu, it'll be great. What did you think of our list of weird and wonderful products? Are there any that you'd like to try, or have you tried some of them already? I mean, if you have, please do let us know in the comments. We would love to hear which ones you've tried and what you think of them. Join in the debate.